President Bola Tinubu assures of his administration's readiness to implement a comprehensive program to end farmers-herders clashes nationwide. Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, threatens to shut down hostels and power supply in universities across the country. Presidency fingers sub-regional forces for the escalating abductions and other security glitches in the country. Details coming up shortly. Right, welcome back. I am Omo Ifepi Sosemere. Now, President Bola Tinubu has assured of his administration's readiness to implement a comprehensive program to end farmer-herders clashes nationwide. Tinubu gave this assurance when he flagged off the Food Security and Agricultural Mechanization Program in Niger State yesterday. A statement by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, revealed that Tinubu also pledged his commitment to ensuring food sufficiency and protecting local industries for sustainable economic growth. The statement was titled, President Tinubu Inaugurates Agricultural Machinery in Niger State, says Nigeria must feed its people and have enough for export. Tinubu's comments are against the backdrop of the commencement of the Polaco Initiative, a large-scale resettlement program to address the root causes of gory clashes between farmers and herders in various flashpoints nationwide. Well, according to a report, Polaco, also called the Fulani Code of Conduct, is an integral cultural and ethical value system specific to the Fulanis. Now, the federal government has issued a marching order asking the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, to withdraw licenses of non-performing electricity distribution companies, DISCOs. The Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, who stated this during a meeting with the head of the agencies in Abuja, said the distribution segment remains the weakest link in the electricity supply value chain. There have been a significant drop in power generation, which are said to be due to many problems, especially low investment and inadequate gas supply. According to media reports, data obtained from the National System Operator, a unit in the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, indicates low supply, thereby impacting households and businesses negatively. But Adelabu stressed that NERC must look for creative ways of getting the DISCOs to improve supply, including the imposition of stiff sanctions on utilities which fail to peak their allocations and outright cancellation of licenses. He insisted that the franchise areas covered by the DISCOs were too large, adding that the government would pursue a restructuring that would create smaller DISCOs with companies restricted to one state each. Now, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, said the union will not back down on its plan to embark on a nationwide strike over its unmet demands on the part of the federal government. SANU President Mohammed Ibrahim, who stated this, stressed that his members, including vice-chancellors, registrars and bursars, have not been paid 2022 arrears. Ibrahim said all instruments of communication had failed, further alleging that the Office of the Accountant General, through the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System (IPPIS) office, has been treating SANU and NASU with disdain, despite waivers granted by the President that all unions which embarked on the industrial action in 2022 be paid. The association threatened to shut down hostels and power supply in universities across the country if the federal government fails to meet its demands before next Monday, March the 18th of 2024. To other matters, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has charged the panel members investigating the 30 trillion naira Ways and Means loan secured from the Godwin Emefiele-led Central Bank of Nigeria by the federal government not to leave any stone unturned, saying the panel must unravel everything about the facility. The panel was also charged to probe the over 1 trillion naira anchor borrower program of the CBN under the immediate past administration. Speaking in Abuja while inaugurating the 17-member ad hoc committee probing the 30 trillion naira loan obtained during the former President Muhammad Buhari's administration, Akpabio gave the committee 6 weeks to carry out the exercise. Akpabio further admonished the lawmakers to shun personal and partisan interest, focus on the task at hand, and approach their responsibilities with utmost balance, devotion, and impartiality. Right, you're watching news analysis live on Politics and Business TV. Still to come, Edo State House of Assembly directs that the impeachment notice on the state deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, be published in national dailies. Plus, with renewed pockets of abduction of pupils and students, as it were, concerns have been brewing as to why this trend has continued unabated. The presidency has now fingered some sub-regional forces for the escalating incidents and other security glitches in the country. The duo of Vivian Bello, a rights activist and convener, Save Public Education Campaign Nigeria, and Comrade Salihu Mahmoud Dandata, a security analyst, shed light on this discourse and also suggest the way forward. The details of this and more after the break. Do join us again. All right, welcome back from that break. Thank you so much for staying tuned. This is News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. The Edo State House of Assembly has directed that the impeachment notice on the state deputy governor, Philip Shaibu, will be published in national dailies. According to media reports, the House took the decision to serve the notice by substitution on resumption of plenary yesterday, where the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Blessing Agbebaku, alleged that Shaibu had rejected the impeachment notice served on him by the House last week. It would be recorded that the lawmakers had last Wednesday commenced impeachment proceedings against Shaibu, accusing him of perjury and leaking of government secret. Now, there are speculations that the impeachment notice is the latest development in the rift between Shaibu and his principal, Governor Godwin Obaseki. Now, in the wake of renewed abductions in the northern part of the country, the presidency has fingered some sub-regional forces for the escalating incident and other security glitches in Nigeria. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, who alleged that some sub-regional forces were actively conspiring against the stability of the country, however, assured that the federal government is responding to the conspiracy of these sub-regional forces. The comments by the presidency are not unconnected to the abduction of no fewer than 287 pupils and students from a primary and secondary school at Kuriga, a community in Chukon local government area of Kaduna State, and Sangaya student at Gidan Bakuso in Gada local government area of Sokoto State. Speaking on the spate of kidnappings in the country, Ngelale said President Bola Tinubu is working hard to secure all parts of the country, noting that the U.S. government had promised to provide assistance for the release of the abducted Kaduna school children. And against the backdrop of the resurgence of the mass abduction of school students and pupils, the federal government has said schools in 14 states and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, are at risk of attacks by bandits and insurgents. The National Coordinator of Financing Safe Schools in Nigeria, Hajia Halima Ilya, this newsman added that schools had been collected for intervention. But according to media reports, Ilya declined to identify the states. However, the commander of the National Safe Schools Response Coordination Center, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Hamed Abodurin, has said they included Adamawa, Bauchi, Borno, Benue, Yobe, Katsina, FCT, Kebbi, Sokoto, Plateau, Zamfara, and 3 other states. No fewer than 465 pupils, teachers, and women abducted in the past week are still in the custody of their captors, with 15 pupils of an Islamia school at Gidan Bakuso area of Gada local government area of Sokoto State were kidnapped in the early hours of Saturday last week less than 72 hours after 287 school children and teachers were abducted from the LEA primary school and the government secondary school, both at Kuriga in the Chukun local government area of Kaduna State. However, 28 of them were on Sunday reported to have escaped, leaving 259 in captivity. And a few days before the Kaduna incident, 200 female internally displaced persons were taken away by terrorists in Borno State. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has condemned the recent abduction of citizens, particularly the school abductions of pupils in Sokoto and Kaduna State. Reacting to the development, spokesman for the House, Akin Rotimi, in a statement said, the criminal acts are not just attacks on individuals, but also on the fundamental rights to education and security of citizens. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, in his reaction stated, and I quote, "No Nigerian should be in captivity. Our schools must be safe for our children." End of quote. Well, I have my guests who will be discussing this, in a moment. I have Comrade Saliu Mahmoud Dantata already in the studios. He is a security analyst. And also joining us via telephone is Vivian Bello, rights activist. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the conversation will begin in earnest. Do join us again. Right, welcome back from that break. This is News Analysis live on Politics and Business TV. While we'll make efforts to connect with Vivian Bello, I'll quickly proceed with my guest, who is right here in the studios, Comrade Saliu Mahmoud Dantata. He is a security analyst. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, it is the holy month of Ramadan, so I must say Ramadan Mubarak to you.
Inshallah, thank you very much.
Now, on the issues on ground, it's really very disturbing. There seems to be no end in sight to the pocket of abductions of pupils and students, as it were. But what do you think is the reason why this trend has continued unabated?
Negligence is part of it. Then, secondly, lack of proactive, consistent action. I can vividly recall in Kayama local government area of Kwara State, that was last year, when I was invited for prize and speech giving ceremony of unique schools, which comprises of both primary and secondary. In my speech, I called on security agencies from divisional police headquarters to divisional officers of civil defense and others to provide security to schools, which I believe went a long way. And I think a day after, there was a response from federal government where they were saying henceforth security in schools across the country was going to be built. That was during the Muhammadu Buhari administration. And we had expected long ago. Let me give you an example in this federal capital territory. University of Abuja is sited in a porous area. I raised issue of the need to fortify security in University of Abuja. When you look at the other side of University of Abuja, it has boundary with Kuje. And in some part of Kuje, there has been hideout of kidnappers and what do you call it, armed bandits and what have you. In quest of that, in pursuance of some kidnappers and bandits, there is this Kala Hore, Mieti Allah vigilante. They had to mistakenly kill some people in Kwaku Hetman settlement of innocent people, where they said they alleged they were in pursuit of some bandits and kidnappers. The kidnappers and bandits were in a different mountain. They went and killed innocent people in those areas. So these are some of the challenges sometimes. So I think what needed to be done, even if the police is so much engaged, what is the role of civil defense beyond just protecting government properties against vandalism and what have you? I think the purview of Nigerian security and civil defense, since they have agro rangers who bear arms, they also have armed squad who bear arms. Then they also have their women corps who bear arms. Let these people be given that mandate of protecting schools across the nation. When
All
you
right.
go to local government, no matter how remote that part is, civil defense is there and what have you, because the police is involved in other jobs, ADC, orderly, escort and what have you, civil defense should take that charge now.
You know, but one would wonder, I'm sorry to butt you, the fact that these attacks, you know, they seem to follow the same pattern. And then you've already pointed out the fact that, you know, negligence and the absence of proactiveness is the reason why this issue has lingered. But if we have civil defense in even, you know, the remotest, you know, villages across the country, why, you know, have these attacks continued to linger? Can we, or will it be intelligent to say that the government, or this is just a clear case of just negligence?
What are the numbers of the civil defense and local government? I want to tell you, in most local government where you have the civil defense, how many armed squad are there? How many agro rangers? Where you find those with arms mostly is in federal capital and to an extension of state capitals. So that is why I cited issue of proactiveness is, you can imagine like this Kajuri in Chikon local government, the one that happened where they abducted 200 and something. Some of the eyewitness account were given that the few community vigilante they had were handicapped. So where were the land army? Where were, I suppose there should be an outpost, but when you go to such kind of police outpost, you don't even find up to 10 AK-47, and you are seeing bandits that are coming in mass. Most of the time they move, government already have intel that these bandits move in mass. They can move with 100 motorcycles. What stopped government from having standby contingent of either land army, police, mobile police, civil defense, DSS, and also others? It means the concentration of security is in urban centers, which ought not to be. We have lamented this issue severally in different forums and different studios and whatever, which you can attest to. The concentration of security is in urban center and to an extension the federal capital, which ought not to be. Even in Abuja here, where you have area councils that are not far from the metropolitan cities, what is the strength of the security? Area command Gwagwalada, area command Kubwa, area command Abaji, Kuje, and other, talk more of other divisions and whatever, where you see that if there is standing challenges where there are 100 bandits, that the divisional headquarters cannot curtail them. So they need to restructure the architecture where they will also increase the numerical strength of security agencies' presence in remote parts of this country, so that there won't be issue of saying you need to reinforce from city center before you go and attack and save people.
Well, comrade, one would want to, you know, differ. I mean, you talk about too much concentration of security apparatus and personnel in the urban centers as opposed to the rural areas. Let's not forget, in a hurry, I think, was it a year ago or 2 years ago, where, you know, schools had to be closed or shut down here in Abuja. This is an urban center, isn't it?
The closure of schools in Abuja was not because of anything other than fear. Because Abuja had no business closing any school. Because if you have the force headquarters with IGP here in Abuja, you have the 3 headquarters of the arms of armed forces and military here in Abuja, Army, Navy, Air Force. Then you also have the Department of State headquarters in Abuja, Civil Defense headquarters in Abuja, as well as headquarters of Defense Intelligence Agency, Office of National Security Advisor, Immigration, Customs, and host of others. It was just fair. Where actions were taken, there is no any, you know, defense of closing school. What happened to the routine of these officers and personnel that do escort duty to the president, to ministers, to other high-level people, including director generals and MDs? They now have escort.
Okay.
Most of the time, when you see their official vehicle, you also see them being escorted by these security agencies.
Right. For a state like Kaduna State, I mean, isn't it a slap to the state government that these, you know, non-state actors, they've been having a field day in that state, considering, you know, the security apparatus in that state?
I've mentioned it severally. It is shameful for Kaduna State to have Defense Academy, Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, Police College, Air Force Training Ground, 1 Mechanized Division, Dalet Barracks, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Navy Shooting Training School, Kachia, and Infantry School, Jaji, and host of others, to now say that these non-state actors, what is the training they get? How many weeks did they train to bear these arms? With somebody that went to NDA from Tamal 1 till the final Tamal and did personal parade, for somebody that went to Air Force training ground to train on how to fly fighter jet, for somebody. Glory be to God.